People.
That sounds like a personal thing you have, or don't have to do, Lunar. Um, so, last week, you fought a creature that was hiding in the spring or in the stream below the door to Bahazar. Yeah, it was a little bit of a tough fight for everyone that wasn't Audrey.
Simply built better.
Uh, Simply having a BS build. Um, at least two of your companions went down. Um, Namely, Silvar and Melorun, who actually went down multiple times because because of frosty auras. um, Starbound's HP kept jumping up and down. I think it was
It was
mostly
great.
down. And Silvar transformed at least four people into draconic beings before Audrey banished him. Um, the barbarian was taking a lot less damage than I thought he would, and dealing a lot of damage. But you managed to fight all of them, all of the tentacles off, even discovering that this creature was a single being, not a swarm. And you took refuge inside the doors of a Hazar, whereupon more tentacles shot out from underneath the bridge and collapsed the door on you. And so, whether you like it or not, you are stuck in the Montes Galacti.
I mean, I think most of the team is stuck. All I have to do, I think, is just turn into a water elemental and squeeze my way through the rock cracks.
Well, that's if you have 1 inch wide gaps.
Yeah.
Hmm. Damn. Imagine not having a teleportation spell. Couldn't be me.
Well, we'll get to that, Audrey, eventually. Um, After some inquiry, you came to learn that that beast that you fought came from the depths of the world. Not depths as in depths of the ocean, but from the foundations of the mountains, far beyond the Underdark. A prospect which scared Audrey to an extent, because whatever caused that thing to come to the surface, it's probably a lot worse than what you just fought. Um, I also had Silvar collect or start organizing the different groups into guarding or scouting parties. Which, even though I didn't do over the weekend, I've had for a while now. So, we begin this week with, after an hour or so, Silvar will come back to uh, whoever is most apparent in charge, which is not going to be Audrey.
Oh no. Whatever will she do?
So it's probably going to be either Cerebon or Daehoon. Now that Daehoon is out of his stupor, probably is going to be Daehoon, since Cerebon doesn't do a lot.
Yep, totally.
All right. What was I supposed to do?
So
Be in charge.
Ah,
well,
yes.
so Silvar will come up to you and say, looks like you're out of your super ever since that fight. I've compiled a list, more or less, of the groups that we can have either scouting or guarding the base camp.
All right. Let's see them.
All right. So basically, it's the Aura of the Swan, which is obvious for all of you. Embers of the Forgotten, which is my group consisting of me, Melorun Cardis, that Dragonborn Turtle Barbarian, Chomper, and Zorana. Then you have the Bastard Squad, who is those future people. And the two unnamed groups, they've kind of already divided themselves into groups already, apparently. So we have Averin, Caradil, Tormura, and Albros in one group, and then Orcon, Maridros, Andros, and Balasar.
All right, Silvar.
Yes?
You're just saying words at me that I don't understand. All right. Go talk to somebody smarter. Or alternatively, how about this? You send me out to go do stuff, and then you can sit here because you seem to know what you're doing.
Hey, Daehoon, we are part of the team, one of the teams that is going out and doing stuff.
Well, yeah,
What?
Well, look, so, like, an hour ago I posited that we have, like, two sets of groups, like, one to guard this camp here, and another to scout ahead. Basically, you have to choose what group stays and which one's guards. Like, I suppose this would be a party decision, since all of you are, well, part of a party.
Mm-hmm.
It's very lively. All right, as long as I'm going out and doing stuff, I'm happy. I don't want to sit here.
All right.
Wonderful.
Hey, Daehoon, as de facto leader, Audrey walks up and will place a whole bunch of paperwork before you.
Oh, sweet.
You have to get through all this.
And Starbrown will just chuck him a page that includes all the parties and the respective people inside the parties. Daehoon
will pick all the paperwork up and move over to a random pit in the ground and set it on fire. Thanks for the burning stuff. Man, this does not light well.
Fortunately, I had others. She pulls out another sack.
Alright, wait. Now, okay, what? So obviously you guys are going to go out scouting.
These ones are made of non-flammable material.
Okay. Everything's flammable if you work hard enough.
All right, look, Silvar, the papers aren't burning yet, so if you want to save them, you better talk fast.
You guys are going out scouting, obviously. Not today, because it's kind of late.
Kind of late, and someone nearly got half frozen to death.
That sounds like a you problem.
It is a me problem. And I think Daehoon did not get frozen. He didn't even participate in the fight, right?
Yeah, I know, because despite all of his big talk, he's just a pussy.
We can go with that.
I was looking at a cool rock. Don't get at me.
The Star Lady was more useful than you.
No,
Oh.
she wasn't. She was inside.
Ha!
Fuck up.
Liar.
Well, actually, no. I mean, if anything, that still makes her more useful than Daehoon.
Look,
She
the
was at
rock
least
is
helping to
beautiful.
set up.
Focus, guys. Focus.
And
Anyways,
so that's one group going out scouting. Who do you want staying behind to guard the scientists and archaeologists?
Yes,
About
they
the
do.
people
One that
we
has people who have healing, maybe. People
Actually,
who
maybe.
like druids.
we're
Terrain controllers. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay,
know,
yeah, that's
I,
actually a decent idea.
you have a good idea. However, I think it would be better for Sturbon's development as the guardian of nature to take the Star Druid with us.
Maybe.
Why?
Audrey's explicitly saying this just to get under Dahin's skin after seeing his initial reaction to stars.
Just look, we'll leave most of the sustain people here. So controllers and sustainers, we'll leave them at base camp, and then the people who can move fast or want to kill stuff like me, those people will go.
Dahin, you are aware that we still also need battlefield control, right? And
Us,
sure, Sturbon and I can take some of the brunt of that, but I can't heal, and Sturbon as a block of ice can't either.
That's nice.
I
What
mean, I
if
can do healing, but
instead of, and this hurts to say, instead of actually hitting things and fighting it like that, like getting up in their face, we just look at them and hope they go away.
I mean, that's weirdly smart of you, but
Like
that's not my
stealth. I have
point.
these boots specifically for stealth. Look at them. They're shiny and they have pointy toes.
I don't
Yeah,
think
I know.
shininess makes
No, it doesn't. But
toughness.
he just sort of looks down at them and goes, "That's fucking cultural appropriation."
I
Their boots
I
of
don't know
elven
what that
kind.
word means.
You're saying to the elf,
Still don't know what that means. Anyway, focus. How about we do it so that we move fast and quiet ish. And if needed, we bring somebody along who can hit stuff really hard. But the goal is not to get into a fight. Battlefield control is not one of our main problems.
I mean, I think you're being way too specific. We're talking about groups of people here.
We
Like, they're
need
gonna
one
stay
person,
in those
specifically one
groups.
who has like
yes,
range and really powerful close range, preferably armor.
Daehun, look at me, buddy.
Maybe who likes shiny rocks.
Look, frankly speaking, most of these groups are actually fairly well balanced.
Well, then why do we care?
Well,
Trying to decide which one stays and which one goes.
All right, here.
you know what? You know what? Hold up.
Paper.
Audrey just sort of
Sturbon, grow me a
pushes
stick.
Audrey just sort of pushes Daehun aside, and will cast a minor illusion to make the sound of like one of those referee whistles to get everyone's attention.
Never mind.
All right, all adventurers over here, come on, solve this fucking diplomatically, since this is not running like an army at all well.
Alright, so each of the all the adventurers gather around.
Great. Show of hands. Who wants to go out with us?
Can you be a bit more specific?
Yes,
We're gonna go
possibly
out.
into the Maw of Death.
No,
That away.
scouting.
She points out to the darkness.
It is beautiful.
You worship a solar deity. I do not understand how you find that beautiful. But I digress.
All the rocks. Very pretty.
You are aware that given, you know, I'm gonna explain this to you later. Anyways, show of hands. Who wants to come out with us?
The Dragonborn Turtle Barbarian, obviously, well, he has to have a translator because he only speaks Draconic, but he might raise a talon.
Cool.
And he's the only one that's like very enthusiastic about it. The others kind of just shrug.
All right, so I guess his party goes out scouting, and the other two parties don't. Works for me.
We have 3 groups to decide, like, out of...
Well, let's make this easy.
The people you guys hired, excluding Audrey, you have enough for 2 groups. Then you have you guys, my group, and the timey-wimey people.
Oh, so 6 groups was that, or 5?
5.
Oh,
yeah, it's not
so
3 scouts.
I would argue she turns and looks over to. Actually, no. Hey, timey-wimey children. The fucking babies. We don't want to cause, like a temporal rift or whatever, so stay put.
That works out. What about, wasn't one of the people who got yeeted backwards in time, weren't they on this expedition?
Yes, well, yeah, and that's the version of him we have, but the rest, actually, fair point, is the other version of you, she looks at the Aarakocra, who's the fucking, chaperone for the bastard squad. Stay away from your other self, I guess?
Well, not that. We know that they survived, so we could just send them out scouting,
Yeah, but... wait, hold up. Were you remember... Were you acting as an official capacity as an adventurer when you remember being here, or not?
I was a researcher.
Well, at least we know some of the researchers survive.
Great. Yeah, I'm gonna go on a limb, say stay here. Don't talk to your past self. Don't look at your past self. Definitely do not touch your past self. The entirety of the weave might just fucking overload and blow us all to smithereens.
Or just send us into an alternate timeline.
Speaking of the weave, Audrey, would you mind rolling me either Arcana or Perception?
Cool. 1 second.
Yeah, come on.
Neat. Yet it was still dead average as far as skill checks are concerned.
No, carry on.
So yeah, take that all with a grain of salt. Let's see here. Great, we have barbarian group. Then that means...
All right, wait, whoa, stop. Explain to me this. Didn't you say we have to take battlefield control? Isn't that the whole reason you shot down my ideas?
Points to the ranger that fought side by side with the barbarian.
Yeah, that's one guy. Okay, we do have
Yes,
Never
and
mind.
also myself. You are aware that I am a wizard.
What does that have to do with anything?
We are literally the paramount in battlefield. You know what? Never mind. Hey, Sturbon. Not Sturbon. Here, she hands him a shiny rock. Entertain Daehun for me. Cool. She switches into Sylvan and looks down at Silver and goes, "Hey, buddy. So that whole experiment doodad I was talking about earlier, something tells me we're going to have the best chance of pulling it off if both of us go out scouting together."
I was kind of thinking that that the three groups go out separately, cover more ground.
True. If we do fucking get ambushed, of course. Point being, let's see. Your group includes that pseudo dragon, right?
Yes.
Cool. Yeah, you should definitely go scouting then. If nothing else, because sans maybe that Drake over there. She looks to the dragon just sitting amongst them. She's probably the fastest to get back if something goes horribly fucking awry. I mean, and I say that even including myself.
I mean, we can convince her to take descending spell, and that makes things a whole lot faster.
Look, there is always ending, sure. What I more so mean is if either we get a report saying everything's on fire back at camp, or one of our other groups is, dying, the Peace Domain cleric is probably one of the best people to handle it.
Okay.
Then that leaves what, one more group?
Yes.
Cool. Then I guess by default they're here on guard duty.
Well, we have two groups to decide. Like, one goes, one stays. We've already decided that the Bastard Squad's staying.
And the Barbarian group comes out.
Yes, that's my group.
That's your group?
Yes.
Oh, I guess it is your group. She says, "Oh, man. The fucking prophecy gang."
Well, there's only so much of a prophecy as there is me. You have the astral elf from the past.
Look. I mean, no, time's bullshit in the astral plane. Point being is that you have what, 3 fucking cultists, the prophet, and literally a pseudo dragon. Yeah, prophecy gang. Cool. Then probably. All right, then she switches back to common. All right, then that leaves one more group.
And they're all the hires.
Yeah.
So,
it's probably more prudent to leave them behind, but we will also cover a lot more ground if we take them out with us.
Yeah, so I am going to go ahead and put down on the map like the 2 groups that are so there's one, and then put down here, and put it in red. One. Dross. Dross. And let me make sure that is all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. So those are the 2 groups.
Hey, new hires, gang. Uh,
Yes.
those hands who here can heal.
So Averin, I think Caradel to Armura, possibly. I think. Hold on, let me check that one particular character sheet. But so definitely Averin, Caradel, Maradros, Andros, and Albros can heal. Toramura, I am checking right now. But you have a lot of healing potential in these two groups. There you are. And do you have any significant healing? Cure wounds, healing word. Mass healing word. And that's it.
Cool. Great. Ivrin, Curdle, Termura, and Chuck's hands.
Albros.
Small. Bob Ross.
Someone finally
Feels
got it.
It's awful. That sounds awfully familiar. Do for stay put. It's probably better we have more healers stay in the home front. That means Okran, Rados, Andros, and Belisar, you're coming out with us.
Okay, those might be good options. I mean, Maradros is Shatterkai. Don't know about if we want the Satyr staying. And Balasar is a ranger. So, Gloomstalker ranger. Albros said, "Well, that's fine by me. I can get some painting done."
Yeah. Paint these shiny rocks.
I think he means to paint a more illustrative portrait of Doom, Death, and Gender Despair, right?
I did not hear that last bit.
It could also just be political cartoons of Daehoon.
True.
What are politics?
Stuff you'll have to get into if you ever want to lead people.
Oh,
yeah.
You mean responsibility?
Mm-hmm.
God,
Remember that whole thing? Remember that whole speech I told you over coffee that one time?
Not really.
Of course.
I do remember the bit where it's like you have to be nice to people so that you can make them do what you want.
Well,
right.
I mean,
yes.
Essentially, but that does mean you have responsibilities to make sure people like you.
Yeah.
Like, not
you're
squandering...
going too far beyond. That's mixing two topics I don't understand completely.
Daehoon. TLDR.
Shush, I want to go.
Don't squander people's tax money on frivolous statues of yourself, like that asshole outside.
But what
Who
if
knows?
Really
that might have been a hero of the dwarves. You never know.
Yeah, it's just as likely to have been a politician, and his head could have ended up on a pike for it.
If his head ended up on a pike, there wouldn't be a statue, now would there?
Look, guys, we have a
maybe one day.
Scout. I have to get followers before I even consider all of this. So just
move on. Daehoon, we have about 12 hours. Chill the fuck out.
Then Sturbon, give me that rock, and I'll go sit in the corner.
Wait, hey Daehoon, you want to hear something fun?
No.
According to your god's religion, that rock you're holding is actually a chunk of flesh from a horrifying eldritch monstrosity.
That kind of fits Daehoon, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, apparently the culture that it came from had to sacrifice virgins,
Oh,
which means I think Daehun's first on the chopping block.
Yes.
She says, looking over at Sturbon.
So, are we dismissed?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, at ease.
I didn't even know we had to say dismissed for an adventuring group.
Ooh, wait, is that something a leader does? Wait, does that mean I am a leader?
You
Okay,
say
you know what,
dismissed
actually-
if you want the entire group of army dudes to stop standing there looking useless.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Why is the one person who never served in the military leading this thing?
Mm.
Because it's
I want
funny
to.
when he tries to lead. Is there any other reason?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a very valid reason if it wasn't my life he was toying with.
That
Oh, you're an outside
usually.
contractor. I think that's the term. You don't technically count. So, yeah, but wait, I'm the leader. I should be making decisions. Why am I listening to you?
Because you don't know how to make decisions, so you're letting the
Well,
advisor do all
maybe
the
I should
work.
make mistakes and figure out how to
Hey,
make a
Hoon,
decision.
even
That's how I
then,
learn stuff. Mistake.
Daehun, trust me, speaking of somebody who's had to lead a squadron before, generally speaking, there are two roles. One of which is a quartermaster, which I suppose by fucking default now falls on Silver, and another called a tactician, who plans things out so the leader can actually execute his strategies.
Yeah, but
I
they're
fall into
my
that latter
strategy,
role.
right? They're my ideas.
No,
Yes, because
no,
you said that they're my strategies.
no,
That
no,
you
no.
have
I
to
said
figure out how to make how to work.
no, no. The tactician comes up with battle plans for you, and then you figure out how to lead the army through it.
So you give me options that I choose from.
No.
Essentially. Or no.
Yeah, if the option is either follow my instructions to the letter or fucking die.
Doesn't that make you the leader?
No,
Why?
because the
Because
leader
she
I'm
doesn't
actually
want to be
yeah.
handed over to whatever savages we run into.
I'm
That's
not going to hand her over. She's not valuable.
she turns back and looks at Sturbana and just sort of like motions her hand like sorta. But also as interesting of an individual as you are, she switches to Sylvan for Silver. Read before going back to common. You are certainly more charismatic than I am.
And you're more able to lead from the, in front of everyone,
You're definitely, I don't know, an inspiring rallying standard,
Mhm.
which is a very important thing for a leader to be.
I thought I was always kind of like the slave master, but okay, fine. So
Bro,
I'm a
what the
figurehead.
fuck?
You're like the mafia, or there's a word for it. It sounds like light. I'm not sure what it means, and I don't remember it. But yeah, you're that thing, and Sturbon's then the nature.
Well, yeah, I mean, Sturbon's a nature. I mean Silvar. Silvar specifically. Silvar is apparently taken up the role of quartermaster. She looks down at Silver and goes, that, frankly speaking, that is kind of what it feels like you're doing, and I'm okay with it.
All right, wait, quartermaster. Does that mean he has to be quarter of my height?
No, I mean, it helps, I guess. She just looks at Silver and then looks up at Daehun, but more so that he keeps everything in working order on the home front. Wherever we set up a base camp.
Keeping track of supplies.
Yeah. Tactics win battles, strategies win wars.
But you're the tactician, so you're not winning the well. So I just outsource all of the responsibilities to you guys, and then I do the fun stuff. Like
you do the
having
leading
fun.
from the front and getting, and doing the speeches.
Okay, so the fun stuff. All right, I'm all right with this
And,
arrangement.
and also getting stuck in the side with a sword when somebody is angry at you for all the war crimes I've I've had you commit on my behalf.
Okay, I'll kill that guy then. Very fun. Blast his
Yeah,
head.
an
He'll shoot an
assassin's
eldritch blast at the wall.
yeah, an assassin's dagger is usually a bit deadlier than that.
Well, maybe don't let that happen then.
That's not my thing.
It is your thing. You're the one
No,
coming up with the ideas.
yeah, and I'm not your guard. I only
Well,
deal with your
then who
soldiers.
is?
You actually have to keep your guard in working order. Don't look at me. I don't fucking know. You don't have any.
So I need a guard.
Guards are
You.
usually wise if you are going into politics.
Yeah, even for someone as capable as yourself. That being said, you want to be careful. Sometimes guards will just decide that they need a new guy to listen to and will assassinate the current guy they're listening to.
So make sure they're
Usually,
powerful, but not too powerful.
Actually, I think it was a pretty big problem up in Calby up until the last guy took office. And then, you all killed him.
All right. Well, I have a lot of stuff to think about, but that doesn't involve doing anything important. Or, well, no, it does. It doesn't involve you doing anything important, so I'll just leave you to it. Have fun being boring. He's gonna go sit in the corner.
So, anyway, Sturbon, you want to go get fucking blasted down at the canteen?
do we have enough alcohol for that?
Sturbon, buddy, I'm pretty sure between a druid and a wizard, we can make enough alcohol for that.
Yeah, just don't let the satyr know. Then he'll drink you dry, especially since he's a cleric of Dionysus.
Okay,
That makes sense, really, but
okay. So we don't let that guy in particular know. Actually, as a matter of fact, do we just have a separate thing of alcohol set aside explicitly for him?
I don't
Sure.
think that was taken into account.
That should have been taken into account.
how about we go around into these houses and see if they have any alcohol?
Oh fuck, that ancient aged wine. Yeah, fuck man, let's do it.
I'm sure it'll be strong enough to knock Dahun over and shine his armor for him.
I don't think Dahun's ever drank before.
That'll just
She
shine his
sounds
armor for him without even having to talk about.
You know what? Fair enough. Let's go look around for booze. Hey, Silver, you want to come in? Come join us?
You know what? Sure.
Right, who knows? We might find some priceless historical artifacts along the way.
All right. You two as the PCs roll investigation checks.
Alrighty, investigation.
Wow, this character sheet's taking forever. Alright. Nice.
Wow, I
Weird.
sent that to myself. Now that's
Genuinely beautiful.
it's supposed to be public, but let's see. That is an average of 14 point something. Wait, hold on. 14. 14 plus 15 divided by 3. 14.33 repeating.
What, did Silver get a 14 as well?
Yes.
What? That's wonderful.
Oh. No, this isn't a priceless vase.
You do find a handful of artifacts, mostly like shards of pottery, but you do also find like a handful of 2,500-year-old coins.
So we're not telling Daven about this, are we? Right?
I'll just keep the coins. I don't mind.
Yeah, you know what? I
It's so easy
unironically
to
don't
hide.
trust you to like skimp out on us. Unlike someone here.
Now, wait, are we dividing these evenly?
I mean,
Sure.
presumably, but again, if I trust anyone here to not like skip town with these coins, it's Sturbon. Again, unlike someone here.
Admittedly, I'm the one who would least
No,
use
no.
them.
Yeah, I think the one who's going to most likely skip town is. Well, I'm not naming names here, but his name starts with an S and ends with an R.
Oh, actually, never mind. You don't know. All right.
Alright.
So if you're giving Cerebon all the coins, that's going to be 15 silver.
So divided up, it's 5 silver each.
Yes.
Cool. But these are special 2,500-year-old coins, so let's not tell Dehun about this.
The exchange rate has gone through the roof.
Hmm.
But,
So-
you don't find any alcohol, at least not here.
Oh. No, that's just musky cave water and vinegar.
I mean, we could give it to Daehoon and call it alcohol, and you wouldn't know the
You know,
difference.
I don't think
yeah,
he would accept it.
he wouldn't, but to be fair, he legitimately wouldn't know the difference. Actually, she looks at the jar of glass and casts into the like fucking amphorae, casts prestidigitation on it, so it like starts smelling like it's hot tea or cocoa. Now he
That's
definitely would accept it.
That's mean. Wonderful.
Well, this search was disappointing. I'm going to go back to work, and I will maybe see you in the morning. Actually, no.
You will
Actually,
definitely see me in the morning. I do not sleep. I am better than you lesser races.
Yeah, keep doing
You
this.
know, it's a little better to not say that to like everyone you meet.
I mean, the only reason I'm saying it to you, Sturbon, is because you know it's sarcasm.
Do it.
I would presume so. Look, the only person I'm racist to is Daehoon. And it's not because he's a human, it's because he's Daehoon.
I'm sure Daehoon would be ecstatic to know that.
Yeah, and that's why you won't tell him, because my rapier will pierce your throat before you get the chance to utter the first word.
Make him wonder why the hell you're trying to murder me in the first place.
You are aware how fast I move, right?
He'll still see someone get brutally stabbed in front of him.
Look, I mean, the alternative is I Julius Caesar you, but I unironically don't have 27 friends.
Why 27 friends? You could just chuck a knife 27 times.
Look, on the one hand, you're right, but it's not a real Julius Caesar moment unless I have 50 of my closest confidants and stab you 28 times.
Just cast. What is it?
You know what? You know what? How about this, buddy? If you ever cross me to the point that I have to kill you, you get until I reach a high enough level, and then I will attack the clones your ass.
Really?
Oh, that is no idle threat. I am a wizard. I can pull that off. Anyways, you want to look for more ancient booze and or weird shiny shit? Who knows? We might find an eldritch abomination in the corner.
Dear.
Not that one, she says, pointing to Daehoon.
Okay. Fine with that, I guess.
Neat. Oh, wait, hold up. She does the whistle thing again, but like in a different pitch. And the fucking Microraptor like pops out of the back of her coat. Little dude was fucking terrified.
I wonder why.
Well, you know, man, it's rough. I'm used to familiars, okay? The bird twice his size might have not helped.
Bird twice his size. Oh yeah, you're familiar, right? Hey, one of his descendants, you know.
I mean, out of irony, yes, but actually, you know what? She'll pull out a little bit of jerky and feed it to the Microraptor. You know, thanks to you, I'm going to have to explain a lot of weird shit to my parents. I hope you understand that.
What?
You know, coming home with a rabbit last time? Weird enough. Coming home with a dinosaur this time?
And so the
I mean,
day
you
passes.
could just say.
Yeah, carry on.
You could just say that you found it deep underground. There's an entire, civilization of like ancient wonders underground.
I fucking guess. Actually, hold up. You know, well, let's just wait for us to get back to camp proper. But I have an old picture book from, uh, well, my family's homeland that I want you to see.
I'm guessing you want me to create a creature from this picture book?
There is one in particular, but we'll get there when we get there.
I'm mildly concerned now.
I mean, if it works out properly, we could throw a halfling on top of it and watch it go.
Okay, so presuming that that's around the end of the conversation, what you guess is the day passes, you get a long rest, and well, most of your party consists, or most of your company is a bunch of elves and some dwarves, a handful of humans and half elves, but that is mostly the extent. And like you have a handful of halflings and gnomes, but otherwise, elves, humans, half elves, and dwarves is most of the people that are with you, besides the people you hired and yourselves.
Cool. Yes, seeing as elves in trance, Audrey will get those that are all of the elves that are up, and also that fairy that conspicuously doesn't need to sleep, and conspire to do the fucking military bugle horn for the morning once the 8 hours pass for everyone who has to sleep. Namely for Daehoon.
That might work better or well in your favor. Is I know Ebrinin has what keen mind feat, And the fairy you were talking about, pretty sure she also has the keen mind feat. Let me just.
Unorthodox choices of feats, but very well.
Yep, she does. And Brennan, let's just double check you. It's D&D Beyond loads. Yep. So the fairy and Brennan both have the keen mind feat. So they know precisely how long until before the next sunrise or sunset is.
Oh, wonderful. So, you guys in?
I mean, you can ask them when it's sunrise. That way you get the like crack of dawn.
Yes, but I mean, she's obviously explicitly asking the fairy under the presumption Fae are going to go along with a prank.
Yeah, sure.
Sweet. No. She checks her pocket watch. Looks. So I'm gonna set an alarm, but you could also help keep track. That'd be helpful. Like right at the crack of dawn, we're gonna have to do this.
Okay.
Sweet. She'll hold her hand up for a high five, then remember fairy, and then only fold up two fingers.
She's not that small. I mean, she's like right on the edge of being tiny.
Yeah, but I imagine it's like high-fiving a 2-year-old.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's been a while since I've been around a 2-year-old. How old is my youngest nephew? Not like we like each other anyway.
Yeah, point being, high five, but high five in a way that might not accidentally slap the fairy halfway across the room.
Okay.
Then we'll go off and look over like scout shit from like Rhiannon's flight back and forth from yesterday. She'll also take the time to resummon the damn bird, but that's not the point.
You can ritually do it, so...
Yeah. And she gets an extra 4 hours in the day. So, yeah, she'll do that, look over, like, that sort of shit. And, yeah, wait until, what's it, Brayden?
Yes.
Comes back with, it's time.
So, the fairy's name is Caradil. Ebrinen is the astral elf druid.
Well then, yeah, Caradil.
Eventually she'll come over and say it's the like 5 minutes before dawn or sunrise.
Great. So I'm guessing you have like minor illusion or something along those lines.
Minor illusion? She does.
I mean, yeah, another illusion spell that produces a sound would work, but obviously cantrip. Cool. Then you want to take over that half of the camp. I'll get this side. She says, looking over to Daehoon's sleeping area.
Alright, and I tell you want the trumpeting, like the military trumpeting to wake everyone up.
Yes. But she is doing this right next to Daehoon's tent.
Right. So, while you're all sleeping, you are awakened by the sound of trumpeting.
Well, Daehoon is gonna pop up, and I guess I didn't think he would be in a tent, but I guess he is now.
Well,
It
would
sleeping
depend.
area.
Yeah,
I suppose I shouldn't say tent, but yeah, sleeping quarters.
Or like
A pillow on the floor in one of the old abandoned houses.
probably.
Cool.
Some
All right.
rooftop is where Starbound's sleeping because there are no trees, I'm guessing.
I don't know if
no
there
trees.
are there even rooftops.
That is an excellent question.
I mean,
I
think of like
I presume like balconies maybe, but
So I guess there's a
Think
balcony
Pueblos.
somewhere that has this. What?
think
like
think of Pueblos.
like the cliff people in Arizona. Yeah, okay.
Okay, yeah. So no rooftop, so I guess some window, I guess, somewhere.
Cool. She's less so trying to pull this on Sturbon, but if she can get Sturbon close enough that it's like, right in his fucking ear too, the better.
It's just rude, but
She is rude.
I think it's better than the bloody
Oh, she's absolutely targeting Daehoon with this. I cannot stress that enough.
All right. Cool. Well, the first thing you hear is, all right, let's go. And he's going to pop out of his building holding his sword and shield. Where's the fight? And he's going to actually start clanging his sword and shield together. Let's go. Let's go.
That's.
Yeah.
I like your enthusiasm, boy, but.
Where's the fight? Come on.
At ease, soldier.
What? My adrenaline's already pumping. Where's the fight? I gotta hit something.
Here. She says, motioning, to one of the stone walls of the building. Punch that.
Punch it? Nah, man. He is going to
Don't throw your fucking sword on rocks.
Blam.
Yes, I'll
Are there
just
things in the walls? Let's do this.
Why are you?
I'm
You're
pretty
fighting.
sure that does do damage to the wall.
Great.
All right, where is it? Where did you see it?
There's nothing here. This is just to wake you all up.
But that's stupid.
She looks up at Sturbon and goes, "Blast from the past, huh?"
I guess.
Yeah, I was about to say that, Cerebon, this would be similar to the routines you had when you were a soldier.
Yeah, so he's awake and not at all surprised.
There, see, Daehoon. I'm trying to help you understand how things are run in military formation.
Oh,
that's part of it, alongside getting up at the fucking crack of dawn.
Yeah, there's a different trumpet call for if we're under attack.
Yeah.
Usually accompanied by scared screaming of the trumpeteers.
Okay, so next time I should wait for screaming before I jump up.
Before you prepare for battle, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's not
or,
a fight,
you can save the trumpeteers. It really depends on how much you like your trumpeteers.
Look, the point is, get up, be ready, but don't be so ready that you're willing to laser a cave wall.
You said there was something in the wall.
No, I said, why don't you attack the wall to get it out of your system?
I just heard there's something in the wall. Shoot it.
I said, punch it, first of all.
I did not hear that. I just heard wall enemy. And I did something about it.
But also, frankly speaking, you have to figure if an ambush comes in the middle of the night, or even then at the same time that it is now, one of two of us, she points over to the ferry. Let's see here. That one is a warlock, so, it actually probably sounds like a glitter cannon. Or I have blown it to fucking smithereens. I am not going to be playing a bugle here if we are going to be murdered.
Why not?
I'm
Anyway,
not a
you know
bard.
what? Fine. You're an elf. I don't understand your logic. Just
No, that
keep it
is
to yourself.
no, that is just military ordnance, not elf shit.
I wouldn't know the difference. So I'm just guessing it's you. Anyway, I'm going to get some breakfast.
It's definitely not just me.
Yeah.
Anyway.
As you guys are having your discussion, Silvar comes over obviously still half asleep, but he's got his sword out and he's holding his shield. I hate you, Audrey. Yeah, I was in a very similar boat to Dane here.
Let's go.
You never impersonated somebody in the army?
I've impersonated nobles until I became one all of a few weeks ago.
No, she'll pat his head. There, little guy.
Don't do that. That's racist.
No, it's more so patronizing. I would do the same to you.
Can you even reach my head?
I mean, okay, that's a pretty big thing stopping me from doing that to you, but I would do the same to you.
Uh-huh.
Actually, I'm pretty sure I can standing high jump higher than you. So, maybe?
Not a competition. All right.
At least some of the elves are, or at least some of the cooks are elvish, so at least they have some breakfast ready.
Uh-huh.
Let's go eat that.
You do have to realize I went around to every elf in the encampment and made sure they knew we were going to do this, right?
Again, stupid elf reasoning. I don't care. Let's go eat.
She's more so saying this to Silvar.
Yeah, he just flips you off.
That's sweet, but I'm not into that. Hey, Starborn, come on, get down here.
So, you get breakfast and you, Silvar's group and, Moab. We'll just go with that acronym. Come out to you. Alright, so, Silver, so, are we all going together or are we splitting up?
I mean,
Divide and conquer, right? Let's split up.
Well, so, you're not wrong.
But also, that's how most horror stories begin.
That is also true. And frankly speaking, we're pretty incompetent. Incompetent enough to be horror protagonists. That being said, she looks forward and goes, that looks like... Okay, so what does she see? Because the whole elf shit.
Well, you can see down the street.
Is there like side alleyways, or does it actually branch off into larger pathways?
There are alleyways, and there, like, at the very edge of your vision is like another branching street.
Look, let's let's stick together up until like there's actually a big enough point for us to diverge. Like, I mean, on the one hand, we could split up now, but frankly speaking, I think the only way we have to go is she just points forward.
Well, in this context, forward could be any direction except the way you came in.
But presuming we're on a main street, right?
Yes.
And then forward down the main street, going down off roads like down side roads and that sort of shit doesn't seem very practical right now.
I mean, you could just run.
You know what? Hold up. He looks over at the Microraptor, boops its nose, picks it up, and hands it to Sturbon.
Yeah. Wait.
Hold on to my dinosaur for me.
Are you just gonna send your bird off to do stuff?
I mean, she can scout ahead for us,
Works for me.
right? She'll cast the light cantrip on the Borb, so the Borb can see better, despite having superior dark vision. And we'll send it out a good, like, 30, 40 feet ahead of us.
All right. So, as you set out, let's just Daehun, would
Yes.
you roll a d6 for me?
Perfect.
All right. So the we're going to take this as multiple days at a time. And actually, now that I think of it, I could probably have used my Adventures in Middle Earth rule book for this, but I don't have time to go looking for that if I brought it. All right. So the day is mostly uneventful, and you do eventually get to a point where the groups split up.
I would request that we take the more creepy way.
Okay.
We have one healer, Daehun.
So?
But if it comes between running the fuck away and letting you get eaten, or staying behind and dying by your side, I'm running away.
You always say that, and it never happened. So just keep talking to yourself.
Actually,
I mean, I say it long enough, and a statistical probability will come along where it happens.
So actually, so for the first week, because we'll do this in terms of weeks, not days. The first day, you get the entire economic district explored, mapped out. But the remainder of the week, you do spend going down the creepy way, and it leads downward.
Perfect.
You notice as the further down you go, the warmer it gets.
Hey, Starbon, Spirit of Nature here.
Yes.
Getting warmer as we go farther down, generally not a good sign, right?
It's a. All right. I'm not too knowledgeable on D&D stuff. Is geothermal stuff, like temperatures, a thing in D&D?
Presumably.
In this campaign, they are. I mean, come on.
Sure.
I mean, think of who your DM is.
Well, I mean, even then, like, on, say, Toril, the case is true. Like, yeah, you can get into the fucking abyss through the Underdark, but it's very much stated you go deep enough down and portals just start appearing, rather than you go so far you just end up in hell. This isn't like Eberron.
Alright,
Nice.
I'm just making. I
Yeah.
guess that's.
Should be noted that the way that you have been going down appears to like it was carved by dwarves.
hmm Well, so, reason I ask, sure, it's normal, but relatively speaking, we're at a fairly high elevation. And, well, estimates put the uppermost layer of this planet's surface is relatively thin, all things considered, but large enough that it takes a while for us to get all the way down. So, that generally means one of two things. Both of which involve
Death.
the latter.
More than likely, it's a volcanic region. I mean, they are
Well,
usually mineral rich.
likely speaking, we're probably on like a fault line. Just given. So, hold up. Hey, Daehun, since I'm going to explain this in a way that you might understand. You ever
He's
put together a
flanking up
jigsaw?
in the front.
You ever put together a jigsaw puzzle?
2 words put together does not mean it's a word. What does jigsaw mean?
Okay, like one of those puzzles for kids where you fit pieces together and it forms a picture.
No, I've pretty much only done riddles and dungeons.
Okay.
I mean,
You ever have
we'll
to
figure
put some? Well, have you ever had to put something back to? Well, no. Actually, this is a great idea. So you know how like your armor has interconnecting plates, right?
Yes.
But and all things considered, your armor's fairly thin for how big your actual body is.
Relatively.
Yeah. So the planet works in a similar concept, right?
Sick.
Right. Problem is, your joints on your armor, they're generally speaking like weak spots, correct?
Yes.
Now, again, presuming the planet follows the same principles, what do you think would happen along the, shall we say, joints of the planet's armor?
Well, I'd say that another planet would be able to come along and stab our planet, making it bleed.
I suppose, in a sense. Yeah, so basically, we're two, like, I guess, plates of armor for this analogy meet in on the planet. They either move together, forming mountain ranges. One will literally slip under the other, literally melting away one of them. They start
Right, but
pulling
wait, my armor
apart.
doesn't melt.
Right. But so the planet's armor, right, is made out of like rocks and minerals as opposed to like raw iron, right?
Isn't iron rock?
Yeah.
It's complicated.
I did not know that iron was made of complicated.
Basically, we took rock and made it better.
Yeah,
Oh, cool.
iron is like if you pay the premium subscription for rock.
What is subscription?
Okay, ignore that. Point here being, so you know how like Sturbond here is incredibly hot to the touch.
I don't touch Sturbon.
Probably was.
Smart. I wouldn't advise touching a tiefling unless you're another tiefling. But the point therein is, or how about this? You know how arson literally made a fire, right?
Yeah.
And I know he can't, but presuming he could, can you imagine if he were to wear like your armor?
I can imagine it, and I want to punch him in the face right now.
Okay. Point there being is that it's a similar concept with the planet. The armor is relatively cool, but what's inside of it will quite literally burn your hands off.
Okay, so the planet is alive, and it's annoying and high, and it's wearing my armor.
No, you're missing the part of the analogy here. The idea is that it's really hot, covered in armor. The armor is that's cool.
Right. Why
the
didn't
armor
you just
moves.
say that?
Because I'm trying to make this simple for you. You don't understand science.
Essentially,
Look, if you don't want to confuse me, just say as little as possible in simple words. Right now, analogy is getting me on me.
Look, point there in being very hot thing surrounded in cool armor that we can inhabit on. The armor shifts around a whole bunch. You know how when you shift around in your armor, you expose parts of your chain shirt?
Yes.
So a similar thing kind of happens with the planet. When the planet shifts around, the plates of its armor move about, and every now and then areas open up where like you can see the chain shirt. Except the planet is very hot. So in this circumstances, it's so hot that at certain points, it's quite literally hotter than the surface of the sun. So the fact that it's getting hotter as we keep moving down here suggests this is a part where the armor is weak, and therefore where the chain shirt can like pop up. Therefore, we might run into stuff that is quite literally hotter than the god you worship, and will kill us all instantly.
I'm not sure if that's blasphemy. It might be.
No, it's literally the truth.
But, okay, so what I'm hearing is there's a lot of hot iron inside of a lot of cold iron, and the hot iron can kill us, and the hot iron is blasphemous.
I mean,
so keep away from the hot iron because it's bad.
Look, if you start seeing like so here's a general rule of thumb. As we keep going further down, if we start seeing like if the rock starts like melting, like you know how ice does? If you hold an ice cube, it starts turning into water.
Yeah.
Same thing will happen with rocks. If you see rocks doing that and they're glowing red hot, no touchy the red hot stuff, okay?
Wow, thanks for explaining that basic thing that I use for cooking. Very helpful.
More importantly, even if you have some sort of fire resistance, like say Sturm on here,
I also have fire resistance.
He's very sticky and will stay on you and will eventually destroy your armor. Therefore, it's not like fire. It's worse. Being said, it would be aesthetic as fuck for a Dwarven city to be lit up by liquid rock.
Okay.
I'm kind of surprised the dwarves didn't do that, to be honest with you.
Honestly, I mean, if we go far enough down, we might just see that.
Yeah, true.
But again, Daehun, don't touch the red hot stuff. The red hot stuff will almost certainly, quite literally instantly give you third-degree burns and will probably start killing you.
I mean,
it's essentially heat metal, but without needing the metal.
Far worse.
We're just putting it in simpler terms for him.
Yeah, so
I'm very lost.
So
can I just stay away from the hot stuff like I always do?
Just stay away from the hot stuff, Daehun.
Thank you for giving me that basic instruction.
But here's another thing. The hot stuff can sometimes spew poison gas that, if we're lucky, has a smell, but might not always have a smell and can kill us within minutes. So if it starts smelling like rotten eggs, we need to turn around and run the other fucking way.
Okay.
And if it doesn't have a smell, we won't know. We might
Okay.
just die of carbon monoxide poisoning down here.
Okay, you're a wizard. Figure out how that shouldn't be the case. Think
See,
that the
usually
magic
we
will bubble
use
around us.
birds to,
Make me a
die
bird.
before we do.
Oh yeah, the canary.
Make me a
She
bird.
looks up at Rhiannon. I
I think
suppose instead of
Rhiannon's a little too big for that, but
it's the closest we've got.
sure.
Yeah, the Microraptor.
Wait a
No, no, Rhiannon won't permanently die.
If it's
Fuck you.
gas, shouldn't it already be here?
Let's not have the Microraptor die first.
Yeah, well, I'm
Actually-
just saying. It may not be intended, but
Look, if the Microraptor dies by means of beyond our control, then that happens. But we're not going to have it literally be the canary in the coal mine for us.
I mean, I could just make a canary. I don't know how much
Oh,
the
that's a good
druid.
point. I mean, I was going to just suggest that, like, next time we set up camp for the night, I just take the fucking hour to change Rhiannon into like a raven or something.
Whichever one's easier. Personally, I think I'd rather not have to create a canary and you do the familiar stuff, because I think the entirety of the druid community would murder me.
I don't. Would they? I guess. I mean, I presume it's just a thing that happens, and druids deal with it. I mean, I suppose she looks over at Arson and goes, "Oh fuck, we're gonna have to wait for him to come down from his high for that." But I have a crackpot idea. Like, Arson's like what, 90% sulfur, 3% brimstone. Why don't we just send the guy literally made of poison rocks first?
as you guys are walking down, those of you with decent passive perceptions, you would of course have seen signs along your way. And Audrey, I take it like every hour or so you stop the group so you can ritually cast comprehend languages.
Yeah, probably.
So as you're having this discussion, you happen to see a sign that says geothermal plant 30 miles.
Oh, that explains a lot. Also, how the fuck did they get a Starbucks down here?
You do not see any signs for Starbucks.
Starbucks? Star? All right, we are under a bunch of rock. How is there any stars down here?
Starbucks, she said. Money from stars.
That's even worse. Star currency? So now they're trading.
It's actually a coffee place.
Don't tell them that.
Oh, goodness. And I used to like coffee.
I mean, it's one very specific coffee place.
All my coffee is ruined now. Forever.
I mean, what, the part that it's usually made by slave labor isn't what got you? The fact that one very specific brand is named Starbucks is?
Look, slaves have a place in society. I thought we already talked about this.
No!
Oh, do you want to hear my long-winded
wrong.
rant on slavery?
No! It's just ethically wrong. Don't do it! But I digress. We're approaching a geothermal plant. That's why it's getting hot down here. She just looks between the two of them and goes, "Oh, right, pre-industrial societies. Hot stuff in planet make electricity go burr.
What's electricity?
That's what
Lightning.
happened. Yes.
What's burr? Is it like the thing that you get stuck on your clothing?
No, like burr as in it works.
That
So
is some lingo I've
basically,
not picked up from Liv.
basically things like, so the hot molten rock heats up water caught in the surface of the Earth's armor. We can use that because it will start boiling, turning it into steam to push a wheel. That wheel will produce energy for us.
Oh,
You ever
Well, I
see like
guess
a water wheel or a windmill?
I've seen a water wheel.
Similar concept.
Except for the
Said
water's going up. Oh, that's really smart.
well, and also a gas and burning hot.
Wait, whoa. Water's a liquid. It can't be a gas.
Water can be a solid. Why can't it be a gas?
Well, it's just pretending to be a solid. It's not actually a solid.
No, it's actually a solid.
Well, then wait, no, stop, because it always turns back into a liquid.
Not necessarily. It stays cold enough, it'll stay a solid, and if it gets hot enough, it will become a gas.
Yeah, but
That's
it
what
always
steam
goes
is.
back to liquid. I've only ever seen it in solid that becomes liquid.
It should be pointed out that at least for Audrey and Sturbon, the reason why the Montes Galacti are called what they are is because Montes Galacti translates to frozen mountains.
I was thinking of ice cream mountains, but yeah, we can go with that.
I mean, we're literally under, like, quite literal tons of frozen water.
Yeah, but it's just pretending to be that.
No, it's just always going to stay that way. It will never get warm enough here unless, like, rampant industrialization happens.
Or, his god decides to take
Yeah, you
get a big
know, I
buzz.
mean, yes, if his god gets into fucking inflation fetish shit, then we're all screwed.
Warmth is a blessing.
No,
All right.
it quite literally will start melting the planet's armor and we will all die.
Oh, cool. Wait, but there will be more water. Doesn't that cool stuff down?
No, because it's going to just be so hot, it will almost certainly sublimate. Or, fuck, you don't know what sublimate means. Turn immediately from ice into steam.
Oh.
No liquid.
So
It will just, it will go so hot so quickly, it just goes solid to gas.
Dehun sits there thinking about this really hard.
I mean, water's the only thing that she's looking over at Starbon. Yeah, water is the only thing that actually, like, we see as a solid, liquid, and gas in nature.
Are you telling me to be a water elemental and somehow get steamed? Because I ain't doing that.
No, I'm not. I'm trying to explain this for Daehoon. Like,
You want me to try and make water and then steam and then ice all in one go? Because that's...
no, I'm trying to make sure that I'm not thinking of another substance. Or missing one, I should say.
Wait. Dehun just started to think.
But, like, basically, things like gas, such as the air around us, we literally cannot get it cold enough to turn into a solid, but we can get it cold enough to turn into a liquid, but it's extremely cold. As in, like, it would instantly freeze your hand, and then we could shatter it with a hammer cold.
Are you talking to me?
Yes, you Dan.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was just wait. So that's cool and all. Can rocks be gas?
The amount of energy required to turn a rock into a gas is astronomically high.
But not
Hypothetically,
impossible.
hypothetically, yes, but there's a reason you'd never see it in nature.
Yeah, it would take your god getting super upset with someone to
Well, I mean, it
turn
could
the rock
take,
to
I mean, it would
gas.
take like 5 solar deities, or maybe an overgod.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I suppose an overgod could just do it with a snap of their fucking fingers.
but it can happen.
Yeah.
So what I'm
mean,
hearing is I
yes.
need to consume 5 gods, and then I will be able to turn rocks into
Well, no,
gas.
I'm by that I mean the amount of energy required borders on the divine.
Oh, so it can still happen. Oh, all right. But yeah, okay,
Um,
all right. I think
like
that might be
what
harder than just cutting their head off.
like yeah,
Yeah.
think about it this way. It'd be like if your god, what the fucking goddess Inanna, Quetzalcoatl, let's see here, fucking Ra, and like, oh,
Raw.
uh,
What
yeah,
stupid
Ra,
god has that name?
the head deity of a certain pantheon. His
Oh,
head's
Pantheon.
actually like an eagle.
Yikes.
He tore out his eye, one of his eyes once, and made a war goddess whose head's a lion, and she almost destroyed all life on the planet.
Wait, that lady, right? That lady we
And
fought.
Sekhmet is the eye got torn out, but I digress.
Yeah,
And
but we
then
fought
like,
somebody like that.
what fifth sun god? Like I don't know. I guess Apollo. Yeah, Apollo is a type of asshole who would get on this plan. If like those 5 deities got together and decided, hey, let's melt the earth, they could probably turn it into a gas.
Nice. All right.
That does obviously require a bunch of deities with similar domains to get together and actually agree on something.
Oh, so it shouldn't be too hard at all.
No, it's generally speaking impossible.
You're a buzzkill.
Um, that being said, uh, well, most metals take a very high temperature to turn into a liquid. She'll cast prestidigitation for about 6 seconds. A vial of mercury appears in her hands before disappearing. That metal and another one by the name of gallium has a very low melting point, so like it can be safely stored as a liquid.
Hmm.
That
Right.
said, that metal I just made appear in like a glass vial in my hand is extremely toxic to the touch and will eat through your armor faster than most acids.
Yeah. Okay, let's.
Also, what
Oh, I was just.
some cultures believed it was a message for immortality too.
One hell of a
Was
way
it?
to achieve immortality.
I mean, dying is one way to achieve it. I fucking guess. You can't die if you're already dead.
That
A
is
very
stupid.
useful paradox.
Look, I for one am under the presumption that if death appears, just say no. It legally cannot take you to the fugue plane.
But is death legal? Is the question.
I mean, you literally go before a court when you die. No, you all do. I get a free pass and get reincarnated.
Okay, wait. We gotta stop. We were talking about science before. We can't stop talking about, or we can't start talking about death. Just
I mean, death's a natural extension of
agree.
life.
Yeah, but we don't have to talk about it yet, unless we're going to talk about the science of death.
Okay. Well, let's see what else.
Let's just keep walking instead. And get to a place to, like, play the game,
Wow.
please.
We never play games.
Okay, Damon, roll me another d6. Okay. Oh, this is a nice, lovely little thing to have towards the end of a session.
And
So,
Oh fuck! Dahan got eaten by a purple worm.
no.
what a shame. He'll be
No.
missed.
I take you continue on towards the geothermal plant. Correct? Or do
Yeah,
you
might as
head
well.
back?
I mean, we can probably keep going, see if it's operational. If we can flip the circuit breaker on this bitch, we can actually have lights.
Uh, you actually pass through like several or like a handful of like small towns on your way, but eventually you get to a sign that says geothermal plant 1 mile, and it actually like opens like a quarter of a mile away through. The cavern just opens up, and you can see like a cliff about 15 feet from you that like just drops into a lake of lava probably 1,000 feet below. And off in the distance you can see a group of buildings as well as what appear to be pipes. Now, whether or not you know what pipes are, that's up for you to decide if your character would know what those are.
Got it.
No, Audrey definitely wouldn't know what pipes are. Not at all.
But yeah, so you come to this site. What do you do?
Huh. I always knew Dwarven craftsmanship was kind of something else. I didn't think they could make fucking pipes like in lava. Well, actually, I guess definitionally speaking, it's magma still below the surface.
I guess.
Now I'm seeing it, I realize why you told me not to touch it, because I really want to.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to see what happens, we can cook some meat over it and show and give you a demonstration on what happens
Yeah.
if you go too
Hold up.
close.
She says, covering Arson's eyes, and then with her other finger, like with her other hand, she commands fucking Rhiannon to just fall into the lava. That's what happens.
Or we can do that.
She looks over at Silver and goes, "Never tell Arson I just did that."
Your groups never met up. Like you all went your separate ways, and you haven't met up yet. Unless you want to return to base camp at the end of every night.
Nope.
No? Okay, well then point stand. She's still gonna say that, just without the having to cover Arson's eyes.
I'll make sure to tell him the second time. Next time we see him.
I will push you into this.
You would also notice look to be cables running from this building, like off into different directions into the rock wall.
Cool. And they look like they still have like their rubber coverings.
Roll perception.
Well, now I'm not sure if it was worth it sacrificing the bird. 22.
Looks like there's some damage to the outer covering.
I left my electrical tape at home. Hey, Daehyun.
And the damage, it doesn't look like it's necessarily from the magma. Looks like something probably chewed at it.
Well, hopefully it's like a squirrel chewing on a telephone cable and it's fucking dead now. Point being, Daehyun,
What?
buddy, stop
What?
looking at the glowy rocks. I need to show you something else not to touch.
What?
She'll point out some of the exposed wiring. See
Yeah,
that?
the other
So-
shiny rocks.
Well, so we can presume that it's a. Well, technically, it's probably safe to assume that like this hasn't had power in millennia. You see those?
You
They,
already pointed them out to me.
Yes. Well, they those parts were shiny and not like covered in like blue and black strips of stuff, right?
Actually, Damon, I want you to roll a perception check as well. Because these are kind of like far away.
All right. Just a sec. Got to get my character sheet up. All right. Perception.
I guess Audrey's giving you the help action.
Good.
Yeah. So, I mean, you see what looks like lines leading from the building, like into the rock wall, but it is a little bit difficult given that the heat waves are distorting things, and a lot of what you're seeing here is a red glow with black.
You mean green?
That's right, because you're colorblind.
Yeah. All right. Well, sorry. It's just hard for me to
Okay.
see. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't even know what I'm looking at. I just see a bunch of like
So you see
stuff.
you see lines at least, right?
I'm seeing lines. Yes, I see those
Cool.
most places.
Right. Well, those lines leading away from the building, they'll help point it out to you more closely when we get close. Always assume that those lines currently have electricity running through them.
Which,
Never touch parts of those lines that are exposed to the elements.
which
It
is
will
like,
shock you.
which
It'll
is
be like as if you got hit by lightning.
Yeah.
wow.
And
Thanks.
the worst part is, Daehyun, if anyone here is most susceptible to it, it's you. Because you are dressed
Very
like a
normal.
tin can.
Not a
Yeah.
tin can. This isn't tin. This is iron. We already talked about this.
Even worse.
Yeah.
All right, wait.
Pretty sure iron's more conductive.
So
I mean, leather's a pretty good insulator, but this amount of amperage I don't think is going to do much of anything for him. Point there being,
all right. What? What's your point? What are you trying to tell me?
shiny parts of the lines, don't touch. Not shiny parts of the lines, safe to touch.
Still don't touch them.
Probably shouldn't touch them. But relatively speaking, if you're going to touch part of those lines, touch the not shiny bits.
So if I make it not shiny, I can touch it?
Technically, but I'm gonna say this, buddy. I don't know if any of the artificers managed to get in with us. Hopefully, some did. Even if they didn't, I might have to lead some people back with more technical knowledge, cover that shit up, because if we're using this as a power station, it will prove to be a problem in the future. Point being, this room is full of fucking dangers.
Welcome to adventuring.
Surprisingly, not ones that have big sharp teeth that want to eat you.
Yeah, I still know what traps are.
Speaking of things they want to eat you, you hear what sounds like a roar.
Awesome! Finally,
So, Taeham,
he pulls his sword.
remember what you said about
Yep,
avoiding
only
conflict.
kill them, take off their head.
No, avoid conflict. Let's run to the buildings, Taeham.
But the buildings have Zappy.
Yes, more reason for us to go into it.
Fine, he'll sheath his sword and fine. We'll go to the building because that's where the bite marks are. Genius.
Look, I mean, if it's the layer of this thing that's roaring, then you get a fight. If it's not, then hopefully we're leading this thing into a zappy trap.
Okay, then let's go.
Wonderful.
We'll go that direction.
So the road, it leads along the right hand. Like if you were to put your hand on the wall, it would be on your right side. And it leads along the edge of the wall up into where the road again splits and goes upwards. And from that point, it's a bridge over to what looks like is probably the geothermal plant.
Oh fuck! Is it one of those rickety old suspension bridges?
No, it's like the bridge of Khazad-dûm.
Cool. Good. It's not a problem for the white elf and the man who can turn into a bird, but the tin can.
It's like the bridge of Khazad-dûm, except not as narrow.
Mm-hmm. Look, I mean, much like Legolas,
where all the lines are coming from, right?
Dodgery would have led you to the plant, so yeah, presumably.
As you're approaching the plant, you do see. How to describe them? They look like large lizards, but their skin or scale pattern is like broken up rock, and in the cracks you can, at least those of you that aren't colorblind, can see like glowing red. To Daehon, it's glowing green. And
Hey Sturbon, when was the Dodongo update for fucking nature?
What now?
It's a Zelda reference, don't worry about it.
Those guys are kind of pretty. But they're
Pretty,
glowing
yes.
and I'm not allowed to
Dangerous?
touch them.
More so.
Gosh.
And try feeding
are
one
we
of them a
gonna-
bomb.
Wait, are they currently on the magma?
They'd probably ask for more, I'm just saying.
they're on the bridge between you and the door to the building.
Do they look like they're going to stay there?
Yeah, they're just kind of sitting there.
Okay.
One of them opens its mouth, and you hear the same roar that you heard earlier.
Is it doing it at us or just in general?
Just in general.
Oh, cool.
I mean,
Hey, Sturbon.
yes.
They're animals, probably.
Something tells me these aren't beasts, but yeah, as official animal translator, you speak lizard.
Alright, I guess I bloody cast speak to animals and hear what they're saying.
Yeah, you go do that. I'll sit back here and I'll wait for you to come back.
If your face gets melted,
I'm going to listen to what they're saying right here.
Oh.
If your face gets melted off, Sturbon, I'll tell your family that you love them.
I'm sure they'll be ecstatic to hear that.
Yeah, presuming I can find them.
Um, these two creatures, they're not saying anything, and who has the higher passive perception, Audrey or Sterbon?
I think they're equal, actually. I'll check. No, Audrey has like one more, doesn't she? Yeah,
Starbound's
Audrey.
15. What's
Oh,
Audrey?
Audrey has two more. She has a 17.
And just for the heck of it, what's Daehun's passive perception?
14.
So Audrey, you definitely hear this. It sounds like light breathing.
Audrey is conspicuously standing closer to her two compatriots. Hey, so
Daehun is going to move away a little bit.
no, Daehun, stay close.
Why?
Well, I don't know if you hear that. Something's breathing.
Yep, that's me.
Not you.
Okay, that's Sterbon.
Not Sterbon.
It's
Gosh,
coming,
or
darn it.
myself.
It's coming from the lizard things, Audrey.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is running back to something. Hey, so Sterbon,
Yep.
what are the odds you would say of these things being able to spit up like molten rock?
Knowing our luck, pretty good.
Cool. And how far away do you think those buildings are?
Too far.
Right. But if you had to put it in like a range, how far away do you think that would be?
From you guys, it's like 500 feet.
So 500 feet.
And those two lizard or fire lizard things are probably about 200 feet from it.
Neat. And pretty sure we can't just punt these things out of the way, so
Well, could we get rid of the bridge that is like, could we twist the bridge over?
I'm sure that wouldn't get rid of the problem, though. They probably can swim in the molten.
therefore I'm going to propose something a bit different. Sound great?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. Then executive decision as the wizard here. She just sort of grabs the two men next to her and is going to cast targeting the building.
Oh, okay. So you get to the door of the geothermal plant, bypassing the two lizard things.
Neat.
At this point, both Sterbon and Daewin would hear the light breathing coming from both of the creatures.
Let's get inside real quick.
Okay.
All right.
Is there a door?
Yes, the Audrey dimension door to the door.
Oh,
Mhm.
sorry, through the door.
Yeah.
Gosh darn it, you all have dark vision. So it's not pitch black inside. But,
And even then, light
from where?
Lava.
from Audrey, the wizard who can cast light. Because she's, a wizard.
Light.
Right. So, this space is pretty spacious. You do hear, like once you close the door, a third light breathing. Actually, it's not light breathing, actually. It's heavier breathing. Almost like the two lizard things outside were asleep, and there's one of those things awake in here.
Ah.
Oh, 2 out of 3 is not too bad for us.
And
Yeah, but
actually,
what if those...
you can see the source of this breathing, like coming out of a side hallway, and
Cool.
it's it does actually light up like around 10 feet around it with dim light. Well,
Congratulations, Daehun. You're getting promoted to Human Shield.
Keep me toasty. Sorry, Frosty. Ooh, speaking of Frosty.
You're going
Yeah.
to be toasty is the issue.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Speaking of which, congratulations, Sturbon. You're getting promoted to Puddle.
All right, guys, are we going to kill this thing? Do you think the door's locked? Could you check that just so that we don't have 2 more to deal with?
Oh, fair point. Audrey, will lock the door, and is there like a chair nearby?
Yes, because this is kind of like a reception area. So
That's what I figured. She'll put the chair up underneath the door handle to barricade it.
now that being said, the
Plus, it's like fucking Dwemer ruins in Skyrim where you can't just pick up the furniture.
no, I was going to say the only thing that's coming to my mind right now is like the like when you get off the train in Half-Life, like that little reception area. Except not exactly like that, because there are more branching pathways from here. But the lizard thing is kind of in between you and the desk, so it's a bit off to the side.
Oh, and if anyone's stealthy enough to move a chair past this thing to barricade the door, it's Audrey. On the other hand, she doesn't want to volunteer.
I mean, if the door is locked, this thing's probably prepared for keeping these things out, right? So
I possibly. I doubt this was much of a problem back when they were active here.
yeah, well, it probably might have been. Anyway,
Actually,
the point is this: we have to
wait,
fight.
hold up. Do you have like a spare sword, Daehun?
No.
Really?
Yes.
You seem like the kind of person that would just keep a second sword on you.
I do not have a second sword.
Hey, Starvon, is he lying?
You know, I can't
Yeah.
honestly.
I get the feeling he is, but I'm not certain.
Just like let's just fight, okay?
Point. Hey, Starvon, do you have like, I don't know, a pole or... Oh, wait, I almost forgot. She pulls out her fucking collapsing fishing rod, pulls it out, and will use it like a makeshift barricade since it's a magic item and thus more durable than a normal-ass fishing rod.
Now, I take it you've been whispering this entire time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Alright.
Great. Now, this action is probably going to wake it up. And for that, I'm going to say, today's
Wait,
Blade
I thought it was
song...
awake.
No. Well, this thing's probably going to alert it to our presence. Which is why I'm going to say, today's Blade song is brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends. Raid
God
Shadow
damn
Legends.
Stop.
Stay until the end of the Blade song for more information, and she will activate it.
It's a
While
no.
she does that, Daehun's just gonna use Armor of Agathis on himself. All right, keep cold.
Alright. Now, since it's like 10 minutes till 10, and I don't have stats for this thing prepared, I think we're going to call it for this week. You know,
That's
actually
right.
give myself time to not prepare for finals and come up with stats for this thing. Ooh, this is going to be fun.